that's going to bring a run home. They don't even need a base hit this time with the bases loaded. Ebert gets hit by the delivery from Pettibone. That brings in Ely from third.
In a fly ball to straightaway center. Vertigan is back on his horse. Beg your pardon, that is not Vertigan. Who the center fielder is, reaches up, can't get there. And 3-1. A fly ball to straightaway center, deep enough to score the run. Hart is back, reaches up, Alday will tag and score easily. Hart throws it in as if there's nobody out the beginning of the year. The 1-2, that's a line drive in the right center field. That is down for a hit. Reynolds around third. He is coming home, and the throw to the plate is a little up the line. 2-1. Bring a high chopper to second, might do it. Marine to second for one, throw on to first, and that will do it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back.
Fans, it is time.
Available now, the Saltdogs app is your one-stop destination for everything Lincoln Saltdogs. View the season schedule, keep up with team news and the league standings, and purchase tickets right on the app. When you're at the game, press Fan Central to participate in trivia and challenges to earn reward points and share your pictures of the game in the fan stream. Download the Saltdogs app in Google Play or the App Store today.
It's time to introduce your Lincoln Saltdogs and their nest watchdogs. Tonight, our Watchdog team is the Cozad 10 and under baseball team, coached by Mike Tomey, Derek Arndt, Jonas Young, Chris Barber, and Jay Gira. And now, here are your Lincoln Saltdogs. In left field, number 13, Nick Schultz. His Watchdogs are Caden Shirley and Jericho Wright. In center field, number 5, Forrest Allday. His Watchdog is Braden Barber. Playing right field, number 21, Cody Regis. His Watchdog is Brighton Baca. At third base, number 16, Josh Mazzola. His Watchdogs are Braden Grotlushin and Elliot Young. At shortstop, number 15, Christian Ibarra. His Watchdogs are Matthew Arndt and Jackson Arndt. At second base, number 7, Yvonne Marine. His Watchdogs are Gavin Gira and J.D. Bering. At first base, number 20, Tyler Moore. His Watchdogs are Miles Eide and Ethan Atchison. Catching tonight for the Saltdogs, number 9, Daniel Herrera. His Watchdog is Cooper Tomey. And tonight's starting pitcher, number 27, Ricky Knapp. His Watchdog is Owen Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to ask those who are able, please rise, with the gentlemen removing their hats. Direct your attention to the American flag in left field for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Presenting the anthem this evening is the Lincoln Continental Chorus.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lincoln Continental Chorus. Fans, turn your attention toward the Saltdogs dugout, where our Unico mini managers are going to help get the game started.
I'm here with tonight's Unico mini managers of the game. We have Ava, Leo, and Ellie. They're all siblings and they all have August birthdays. So happy early and belated birthdays. Are you guys ready for a play ball? Really loud. 3, 2, 1. Yes, I love the energy. Thank you, Ava, Leo, and Ellie, and thank you, Unico Group. If you would like to be the next mini manager of the game, go to saltdogs.com to participate.
On the mound tonight for the Saltdogs, number 27, Ricky Knapp.
game number 78 for the Dogs, 34-43, 12.5 games back. In the South Division, they are in 4th place. Sioux Falls, game 79, 33-45, 14 games back in the division. They are in 5th place, and the Dogs have a chance to win a 7th consecutive game here at Haymarket Park, a chance to sweep a 5th series this year. And as always, tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Gene Lilly Surety Bonds. Gene Lilly Surety Bonds is the largest writer of surety bonds in Nebraska and has provided surety bonding needs since 1965. Thank you for your support of the Saltdogs. So Andrew Ely will lead things off. 5-game hitting streak, batting .292, 7 homers, 35 runs batted in. The Canaries and their alternate gold tops with the gray pants, the blue caps, the blue bills. Home whites for the Dogs, white pants, white caps, and navy blue bills. Ely 2 for 8 in the series. Ricky Knapp 3 and 6, a 6.04 ERA. Getting ready for start number 14. Knapp has moved from the windup and is working out of the stretch exclusively. He kicks and fires in the first pitch. Ely shows a bunt. He pulls back and takes high and outside at 5:10 p.m. 86 degrees here at Haymarket Park. The same first pitch temperature from last night. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Here's the pitch. A 3/4 swing and a miss. And that evens up the count of the ball and 1 strike. So Ely, Glasser, Taylor will hit here in the top half of the first inning. Nick Schultz in left, Forrest Alday in center, Cody Regis in right. 1-1 pitch, sails high and outside. 2 balls and a strike. From Ricky Knapp to Andrew Ely, righty on lefty. Ely, one of 4 left-handed batters in the Canaries lineup here this evening. Here's the 2-1. That sails high and outside. 3 balls and a strike. Brett Vertigan was a lefty, but into the game for the first time in this series, it is the lefty Josh Raywalt. 3-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a fly ball and a straightaway center. Alday back. Well, it looks like he has plenty of room and a few steps in front of the track. Reaches up to make the play for out number 1. So Ely quickly the first out here on 5 pitches in the first inning. And here comes Mitch Glasser to the plate. Glasser is the DH, batting .263, 3 homers, 31 runs batted in. He was at first base in the first 2 games of this series. It is righty on righty as Knapp steps onto the rubber, working out of the stretch first base side. Belly high set and a black glove for Knapp. The first pitch is a strike at 90. Count is 0-1. Knapp had said that he moved to the stretch from the wind after the results just were not there, and he has struggled, especially away from home. The 0-1 pitch is outside to Glasser. The count evens here, 1 ball and 1 strike. This year, away from home, Ricky Knapp has made up more appearances and starts and tossed a 7.98 ERA. 1-1 to Glasser, misses, 2 balls and a strike. But here at home, 1-1 in 6 starts with a 3.89 ERA. Exhale, 2-1 pitch. Missed upstairs, 82 on the slider from Knapp. The count, 3 balls and a strike. 27 years of age, from Port Charlotte, Florida. Went to Florida Gulf Coast University, same place that Chris Sale attended. Behind here, 3-1 of the pitch, right down the middle. And the count full to Glasser. Glasser, a guy who strikes out fewer times than he walks. 29 strikeouts and 34 walks this year, beg your pardon. And the payoff pitch to him. That's a check swing and a foul ball off to the first base side. Just got a piece. Didn't intend to swing, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, you talked about Ricky Knapp's home and road splits, and they are really stark, but most of his road starts this year have come against some really tough competition. Winnipeg last time out. He's had to pitch in Fargo twice, St. Paul, Sioux City twice. Those aren't easy tasks.
Payoff pitch. Cold strike 3, got him looking. Fastball down the middle at 90, and Glasser can't believe it. So Mitch the second out here in the first inning, Knapp's first strikeout. And here comes Kevin Taylor to the plate. You mentioned that last start, 9 runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout in just 2 1/3 innings. That, however, was not his shortest start or the most runs he'd allowed in a start. Back at Texas on July 19th, 2 innings, 11 hits, 11 runs, 6 of those earned. First pitch is inside, and Pastorera to the backstop to Kevin Taylor for ball 1. Taylor batting .314 on the year, 6 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Hitting from the left side, 1-0 pitch. That is outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Knapp is having a tough time finding the strike zone early on. 3 ball counts to each of the first 2 hitters, and behind here, 2-0. With Taylor at the plate, 2 outs and nobody on. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High and outside, and a third consecutive 3 ball count. Taylor against the Dogs, batting .419 this year with a .438 on base, .452 slugging. He has been a tough bout in the season series. 3 for 9 in this series specifically. 3-0 to him, and that's over for a strike. You had mentioned too yesterday, Matt, or maybe this was 2 days ago. It was in this series for sure, that the gun seemed a little hot. And I'm not sure I've seen Knapp hit 90 on the gun all year, and he's done it twice already in this start. 3-1, big swing and a miss. 86 that time, and the count runs full. 2 outs, bases clear, no score. Top 1 Dogs looking for a second consecutive home sweep. Did so against the T-Bones last weekend. Payoff pitch. That's a pop-up foul, left-hand side. The count remains full. Swept the T-Bones on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, trying to do the same thing to the Canaries in Sioux Falls' only trip to Haymarket Park this year. But these two are divisional foes for the first time since 2010, back when the Canaries were the Pheasants. Payoff pitch. That's a curveball that never came back down, and ball 4 for a 2-out walk. So Alay Lago will now stand in. Lago is the league's batting king at the present moment, but that average is down significantly, down to .347, 1 hit shy of 100. And in the series has a couple of hits. He's walked, struck out, first pitch to him, and he pops this one foul out of play to the right-hand side. I'm trying to work around a 2-out walk here in the top of the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's a tapper foul off the end of the bat. And the count is 0-2. Lago's batting title lead is now down to just 2 points entering play here today. Dan Model was second at .345. But Lago this year has been exceptional when it comes to hitting righties. .367, by far the best active Canary in that category. The 0-2 runs up and then it's 73. Count a ball and 2 strikes. Lefties batting .327 against Knapp. Righties .385, but he has not allowed a home run to lefties all year. He's allowed 8 to righties. A belly high set, and now the 1-2 pitch. That's popped up right side of the infield. Foul territory. Tyler Moore, not too far away from the coach's box, reaches out, makes the play, and Lago on a foul out, the final out in the bottom of their, the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. No score on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM and 1480 AM. World Baseball Classic roster. First pitch is outside to Christian Ibarra leading off the bottom of the first inning. There is no score. Canaries had a 2-out walk from Kevin Taylor, but he was left at first base. 1-0 pitch, and missed outside, and Ibarra ahead 2 balls, no strikes. Ibarra has a 20-game on-base streak, but went 0 for 3 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch. That meant the end of his 14-game hitting streak, longest for a dog this year, tied for 6th in the league. 2-0 pitch is good for a strike down the middle. Took something up at 87, 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Ibarra, Alday, and Regis are the scheduled 3. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a ground ball rolled towards short, picked there by Ely. A shuffle and an easy throw. It's a little bit low to Raywalt, but picked up nonetheless, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. So Ibarra now 1 for 8 in the series, and here comes Forrest Alday. Talked about it a few nights ago, but quietly Forrest Alday's on base is into the top 5 in the league. 418. That is good for 5th. 298 hitter, 1 homer, and 18 driven in. Alday, the center fielder. 2 for 7, a run scored, a double, an RBI, a strikeout, and a sac fly in the series. And the first pitch is strike number 1 to him at 83. Count is 0-1. Alday, the OPS at 775, beg your pardon. Time called at the plate. Alday will step out and step back in. One of 3 lefties for the Dogs in the lineup here this evening, and they also have a switch hitter in Daniel Herrera. Here's the 0-1. That's whipped in there over the inside corner at 90, or I beg your pardon, the 87. The count is 0-2. Lineup very similar for the Dogs. 2 minor changes. Tyler Moore. Here's the 0-2. That's a curveball slapped in right center field. Center fielder over a dive, and he can only knock it down. He doesn't know where it is. Alday around first, trying for 2, and he's there with a slide. It's a double for Forrest Alday. He's now got 4 extra base hits over his last 4 games, and here comes Cody Regis to the plate.
Prior to that string, or this current string, I guess it is now, of extra base hits, Alday had been a singles machine in his time in a Lincoln uniform. It was the first 26 or 27, can't remember exactly which one, or 27 hits, should say, for Alday that went for singles in a Saltdogs uniform. But he was thinking double out of the box the whole way there. He had his eyes on the center fielder, Hart, who was playing center field for the first time in this series, and he busted it out of the box. When Hart couldn't find it, Alday was able to take second.
First pitch, strike number 1 to Cody Regis. Overshift on with 3 on the right side. Batting .270 on the year, 13 homers, 51 runs batted in. Man at second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Here is the set. And the pitch from Heron. That is down and in. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. You mentioned that, and you're exactly right. Exclusively singles before Alday had a pair of doubles in the series against Winnipeg. He now has a pair of doubles in the series against Sioux Falls. Here's the 1-1. That's lined the other way, and that's through for a base hit past the dive of Kevin Taylor. Alday had to wait, make sure Taylor didn't nab it out of the air. But Regis goes the opposite way with a line drive single. Runners on the corners, only 1 out for Kurt Smith. And you don't really think about Alday not hitting for extra bases all that often based on, despite the singles, how many runs he was able to produce. Whether it was with speed, going first to third on base hits, or a steal here or there, even though he hasn't really taken off that often this year. First pitch to Kurt is outside for ball 1. But now that he's hitting doubles, you look down at the day by day and realize that he didn't have any before this little run over the past week. So Kurt at the plate, batting .330, 4th best average in the league. The 1-0 pitch is a pop-up foul to the right-hand side. That gets up and out of play to even things at 1 ball and 1 strike. Tyler Heron, a league veteran, and ever since of the word. He was here in Lincoln last year. Went 4-5 with a 7.33 ERA. Just never really could get things going. He was better, though, in 6 starts with Winnipeg. 1-1 pitch to Kurt up and in. 2 balls and a strike. 2-4 with a 3.19 ERA. Saltdogs as a whole really struggled to limit the runs last season. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball to straightaway center, deep enough to score the run. Hart is back all day tagging, and all day will come on home. It's a sac fly for Kurt Smith, and the Dogs strike first with a run in the first to make it 1-0. So Kurt has his 56th RBI, now 23 runs driven in over his last 15 games. That also the 4th sac fly for the Dogs in this series. Kurt Smith with 1. Forrest Allday has 1. Cody Regis with 1. Runner takes off. First pitch to Mazzola. Strike number 1. Throw down to second, and it is in plenty of time. And they get Cody Regis trying to steal. First time Cody's been caught stealing this year. But the Dogs do score a run on 2 hits. No errors. Nobody left to the second. 1-0 on ESPN Lincoln. 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
The difference between possible and impossible? It's a person who believes they can, surrounded and supported by others, by us, who believe it too. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. When you're ready to buy a house, a mortgage from U.S. Bank could help make it possible. And a dedicated financial partner will be with you every step of the way. See about pre-qualifying today. U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
Back for the second inning, 1-0. The Saltdogs lead it. A run on 2 hits for the Dogs. It came on the sac fly from Kurt Smith. Ricky Knapp worked around a 2-out walk and a scoreless first. And Mike Hart, Clint Coulter, and Jordan Ebert, 5, 6, and 7. Scheduled 3 here in the second inning. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Game 3 of a 9-game homestand, season-long homestand for the Dogs. Hart batting .309 on the year. He's walked twice in each of the first 2 games of this series and has a 4-game on-base streak. Hart, a lefty who mashes left-handed pitching to the tune of a .382 batting average, .273 against righties. Wide open stance. And the first pitch is popped up foul out of play. Off to the third base side. The count 0-1. Knapp did struggle to find the strike zone in that first inning, 23 pitches and 12 for strikes, but again worked around really the only blemish. The 0-1 is down and in. 84 on the gun there from Ricky, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1. That floats outside, 2 balls, a strike. Hart in the series, 1 for 4 runs scored. He's walked 4 times, struck out 3 times. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Took something off, a changeup at 76. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also a strikeout of Mitch Glasser looking in that first inning. The tough guy to strike out. And Knapp ready again. 2-2 is fouled straight back We'll do it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned the struggles in that first inning for Knapp at this ballpark. Again, came in with a 3.89 ERA and 6 starts at home, a 7.98 ERA. And 9 appearances and 7 starts away from home. Beg your pardon, the struggles away from home. Here's the 2-2. That is high and outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Hart. But ironically enough, one of 2 scoreless appearances he has this year on the road came at Sioux Falls on June the 16th. Here's the payout pitch. We're going to foul tip. We'll do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3 scoreless innings in relief of Chiron Martis. That was back when Knapp, with basically workload management, was piggybacking on Chi Martis while Martis was coming back from the disabled list. So you had a starter that you felt like, here's the payoff pitch. That's a fly ball hit to shallow left. Mazzola is back from third, now venturing into foul territory, and he makes the play on the foul side of the line, reaching up over his head. Nice play from Josh. Out number 1 to retire Hart. But you had a starter who you felt like you could get something out of, but you had to limit the workload. You had a starter who you were a little worried about what he had done early on in the year in Knapp, just based on what you were seeing. And there was a little fatigue early on coming off of off-season surgery. So it made sense for Martis to pitch the first 4, 5, 6 innings. First pitch to Coulter is strike number 1. And it made sense for Knapp to come on in relief. And that happened twice. Once in Sioux City, once in Sioux Falls, and the Dogs were victorious in both. The 0-2, that is belted deep to left field, and you can kiss that one way gone. Clint Coulter with his 3rd home run in the season series. It is a moonshot out to left. 9th home run allowed by Ricky Knapp this year, and we're all square at 1 here in the 2nd.
It's the light tower power that got Clint Coulter drafted in the 1st round back in 2012. He's a kid that is really big, over 6 feet, over 220 pounds, and when he can square up a baseball like he did there on that spinner from Ricky Knapp, he can hit it a long way, and he hit that thing onto the walkway just in front of the bathroom that wraps around in the left field concourse here at Haymarket Park.
First pitch to Ebert taken for strike number 1.
Must be, what, 360, 70 feet?
Yeah, that was a no-doubter off the bat. 13th homer of the year, 50th RBI. Here's the 0-1, a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Probably actually closer to 390 now that I think about it, with the launch angle to get it up the berm.
Here's the 1-1. That is upstairs. 2 balls, a strike. Ebert batting .272. 2 homers, 34 driven in. But going back to the Knapp and Martis piggyback, Knapp made 2 relief outings. 2-1 is a big swing and a miss. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. And one of the scoreless appearances he had on the road this year again came in that game against Sioux Falls on June 16th. The Dogs won it 12-1. Knapp got the 3-inning save. 2-2. It's a high chopper over towards second. Marine charges. Fields on the backhand. Sidearm throw off balance to first in time. And Ebert on a nice play from Yvonne Marine. Is the second out here in the 2nd inning. And here comes Burt Reynolds to the plate. Reynolds will hit from the right side. 0 for 5, a run scored, a walk, 3 strikeouts in the series. 223 on the year, 9 homers, 44 driven in. 108 strikeouts and 28 walks for Burt. That save for Knapp against Sioux Falls, his only this year, his first since 2015, when he had one with Savannah, who at the time was the single-A affiliate of the New York Mets. First pitch is a strike over the outside corner to Burt Reynolds. The Savannah Sand Gnats, as they were known back then. That franchise has since relocated to Columbia, South Carolina, where they are known as the Fireflies. The 0-1, sky-high fly ball right center. Here comes Forrest Allday, looking into the early evening sun, and makes the play for out number 3. But Clint Coulter ties things up with his 13th home run of the year, a solo shot way out to left. 1-1 through an inning and a half here at Haymarket Park on ESPN Lincoln 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
Valentino's family recipes have been passed down for generations. It's a classic Italian tradition we put into every dish we make. We use only the freshest ingredients for a more authentic taste. Whatever you choose, you can be sure it's made with off-the-vine freshness for a healthier, more wholesome flavor. Valentino's, classic Italian tradition.
Go to valentinos.com to find a location nearest you. Order online for easy pickup or fast delivery.
Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations. It's a tradition we bake into every pizza we make with our savory, slow-cooked original sauce, baked fresh daily crust, mounds of all-natural mozzarella, and the freshest toppings. Valentino's Pizza, classic Italian tradition.
Go to valentinos.com to find a location nearest you. Order online for easy pickup or fast delivery.
Back for the bottom of the second, Clint Coulter just tied things up with a solo home run in the second. Josh Mazzola will lead things off. He was at the plate in the bottom of the first when Cody Regis was caught stealing to end the inning. So it'll be 5, 6, 7. Josh Mazzola, Tyler Moore, and Nick Schultz, third baseman, first baseman, and left fielder. First pitch from Tyler Herron, chases down and away at 85. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Mazzola hitless in the series, 4 strikeouts. And the 1-0 is swung on and missed. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. A run, 1 hit for the Birds, a run, 2 hits for the Dogs. Game 3 of this 3-game series. And the Chicago Dogs are in town for 3 starting tomorrow night. 1-1 pitch. A big curveball and taken for a strike. Over the outside corner with the knees, the count 1-2. Mazzola batting just .235 against righties so far this year. .313 against lefties. 1-2 pitch. Fastball missed outside, 93. And the count evens from Herron to Mazzola. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Quiet Sunday evening here at Haymarket Park. Here's the wind by Herron and the pitch. That's grounded weakly towards third. Kevin Taylor up with it. Throw to first in time. And Mazzola the first out in the second inning. Buck Night is a new night this year. It is Saturday. What a great value to come out to the ballpark. Enjoy $1 Fairbury brand hot dogs, $1 Colby Ridge popcorn, $1 Pepsi fountain drinks, and $2 select 16-ounce Tall Boys Busch Light hams and PBR. To see the upcoming schedule and purchase your tickets, visit saltdogs.com. So Mazzola, the third baseman, grounds out to his counterpart over there at the hot corner, Kevin Taylor. And Tyler Moore will stand in. 3 Canaries on the right side of the infield. 6-game hitting streak for Moore, his longest of the year. First pitch, taken low, ball 1. Moore has had a good series, multiple hits in each of the first 2 games. 4 for 7 with 3 runs scored, a double and a walk. Here's the 1-0. That is popped up. Foul territory behind the plate. It should get out of play, and indeed it will. To the second level. The first row of the second level seats. Count evens to Tyler Moore, 1 ball, 1 strike. .257 batting average, 7 homers, 38 runs batted in. .311 on base with a 699 OPS. 1-1 pitch. That is a fly ball that's hit foul out of play. Up towards the left-hand side. The count 1-2. Nick Schultz is next. Nick's had a good, at least yesterday. As a result, you could say he had a good series, though he hasn't featured as a starter in both games. Came in midway through the opener on Friday. Aaron steps off, steps back on, more steps out, and he steps back in. Righty on lefty. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got 91 by him. And his first strikeout for Tyler Heron, his second out here in the bottom of the second inning. And here comes Nick Schultz to the plate. So Schultz will hit from the right side. Started this season with the High Point Rockers, which is the newest team in the Atlantic League. First pitch is a little low to Nick, ball one. And he's a veteran whose spot on the roster opened up when Taylor Hill, who still has the league's best qualified ERA, though he's no longer with the team. 1-0 pitch, good for a strike of the outside corner. A fastball from Heron, 1 ball, 1 strike. Taylor Hill went to Mexico. Here's the 1-1. And that is popped up in behind the plate and foul. So far this year, righty's batting .257 against Heron, lefties .211. Former first-round pick, 46th overall by the St. Louis Cardinals in 2005 out of Wellington Christian High School in Wellington, Florida. 1-2 pitch. Got him looking, a beautiful curveball and a 1-2-3 bottom of the second with back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. To the third, 1-1 on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM and 1480 AM.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
Coors Banquet has always been brewed with pure Rocky Mountain water and always will be. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere.
Boulevard wheat is unfiltered, and it's my job to make sure it stays that way.
Boy! Hell no! No! Stop!
Filtration can come from anywhere. Beer filters, coffee filters, Snapchat filters, air filters, any kind of filter, out. Hey, those filters for the beer?
They're for coffee.
Get that out of here. Okay. A lot of people don't get what I do here, but they sure can taste it.
Pardon the top of the third inning. It is a 1-1 game. The Canaries are run on a hit. The Dogs are run on 2 hits. And Ricky Knapp gave up a 1-out home run. That Clint Coulter hit a long way down the left field line. Is back for work here in the third. 9-1 and 2 due. Josh Raywalt, Andrew Ely, and Mitch Glasser. Raywalt making his first appearance in the series. And he will bat from the left side. First baseman hitting .250 on the season. Here's the first pitch to him. And he takes strike one over the outside corner. Raywalt batting just .224 against right-handed pitching. Another lefty that hits lefties well. 0-1. That is outside. The count evens at a ball and a strike. He's played 3 games against Lincoln this year. 4 for 10 with a double. Here's the 1-1. That's a tapper rolled foul to the first base side. The count is a ball and 2 strikes. Ricky Knapp with his first start against Sioux Falls, second appearance. And the Dogs have won not only 6 straight here at home, but 6 straight against Sioux Falls. That run dates back to the last appearance Ricky Knapp had against the Canaries. 1-2, breaking ball outside at 74. That was on June the 16th. They then swept the 3-game series from July 27th to the 29th at the Birdcage, and they've won the first 2 of this one, 2-2. That spoiled foul out of play down the left field line. It is up and into the Lincoln bullpen. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Josh Raywalt leading off the 3rd inning. These two teams have plenty of history with each other. Lincoln now 117-96 against the Canaries all-time, 61-41 here at Haymarket Park. 2-2 hit in the air, shallow left. Nick Schultz looking up into the sky. Pitcher's over to his right and settles under it to make the play for out number 1. So Raywalt with a mile-high F7, the first out in the 3rd. And here comes Andrew Ely to the plate. Ely, a 5-game hitting streak that began on August the 6th. Flew to center his first time, 1-1 our score with 1 out, the bases clear in the top of the 3rd inning. First pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball. Strike call over the outside corner at 73. Knapp working out of the stretch, first base side. A quick set in the 0-1, line back up the middle, and all day plays it on a hop. 6-game hitting streak for Andrew Ely. A 1-out single here in the 3rd, and Mitch Glasser will now step to the plate. Glasser struck out looking his first time. The only strikeout victim of Ricky Knapp here this evening. Knapp has given up now a couple of hits. He's walked the batter and has the 1 strikeout. Moore will hold on Ely at first in the middle infield. His position for 2. First pitch to Mitch. And he pops up a bunt foul in behind the plate. Count is 0-1. So the Dogs are in town for 3 games beginning tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. First pitch time in all 3, 7:05. It's the only meeting between the Dogs and the Dogs all year. Lincoln does not go to Impact Field, and the Chicago Dogs make only 1 appearance here at Haymarket Park, and again, it gets underway tomorrow. 0-1 pitch. That's popped up foul to the right-hand side. Count is 0-2. And then the homestand not over, still 3 more after that, upcoming on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when the St. Paul Saints are in town. That is the 2nd and final visit from the Saints this year, the last series of the season series. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a fly ball, muscled into right center. Alday's got plenty of room. And into the gap, he makes a 2-handed grab. And Glasser now 0 for 2. 2 for 9 in the series. And with 2 outs and Ely heading back to first base, here's Kevin Taylor. The Dogs then go to Dallas-Fort Worth, and they've got the final 3 games in Texas for the year. Next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That is against the Grand Prairie, the Texas Airhawks in Grand Prairie. They'll then head back up to Kansas City for 4 over 3 days, including a doubleheader. First pitch here to Taylor, and he grounds this one too short. Picked on a tough pop by Ibarra, who jogs himself the short way to second. They'll put an end to the 3rd. No runs, a 1-out single, and a man left to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM and 1480 AM.
Rocky Mountain water can be found right here and right here. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light. If you have the need for speed, you need Kinetic Internet by Windstream. Built on our newly enhanced fiber-backed network, you can access all your entertainment at blazing fast speeds, up to 100 megabits per second. Surf, stream, game, download, and watch on multiple devices at the same time, uninterrupted. Plus, Kinetic is unlimited, with no data caps and no contract required. And you can try it with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Order today at windstream.com.
Is Homer the Haymarket Hound's 19th birthday, so happy birthday, Homer. Only 2 years away from being able to head on down to O Street after some of these late night Saltdogs games, especially on the weekends. Not that I'm insinuating anything. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the third, and they're throwing a birthday party for Homer. 3 other of Homer's mascot friends are here in attendance, and they look like they're having a good time. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Daniel Herrera will switch hit and bat from the left side. First pitch to him is strike number 1 from Tyler Heron, who's settled in. 1-2-3 in the second with back-to-back strikeouts, his first 2 of the evening. Heron into his wind. Here's the 0-1. And that just missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Head is the home plate umpire here tonight. Nick Webb at first base, and Jet Minton is at third. A run on 2 hits for both teams. Another 1-1 grounded foul up to the first base side. The count is 1-2. 19 years old for Homer. He'll turn 20 next year, as will the Lincoln Saltdogs, and it'll be worthwhile to pay attention to what happens in the offseason. 1-2, fastball high, 2 balls, 2 strikes, because while I don't know the extent of the festivities, there will be many exciting evenings at the ballpark. Here's the 2-2. That's the Tapper foul in behind the plate to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Saltdog baseball here in Lincoln. Haymarket Park, the same age. Did you know, Matt, that when they were envisioning bringing pro baseball to Lincoln, here's the 2-2. Out straight back, we'll do it again. They ultimately decided independent baseball was what would work best, and they ultimately decided to basically just go ahead and start a franchise alongside Haymarket Park. But before that, while they were really thinking these things through, the home was going to be Sherman Field.
Yeah, you told me that once upon a time.
2-2, that's lifted into shallow center and blooped down for a hit. Just out of the reach of the outstretched glove from Andrew Ely, who was the only player from shortstop who might be able to actually make a play there. Would have been a spectacular catch, but it's a bloop single for Herrera, who now is 4 for 9 in the series, and here's Yvonne Marine.
I can see it now, a packed house of 455 at Sherman Field for a Friday night get-together, huh? I mean, can you imagine?
That'd be fun.
Can you imagine a full season of baseball games at the professional level being played at Sherman Field? You and I have done a ton of games at Sherman Field, all high school.
First pitch, and Marine punches a bunt to the second base side. Lago fields, bare hand flip, not in time. And Marine, I'm not so sure he wasn't trying to bunt himself aboard right there. It's a base hit, and the Dogs have 2 on with nobody out here in the third.
I think Marine was trying to bunt his way on there, Michael, and it was a really resourceful play from Yvonne. He had the sense that if he at least pretended to sacrifice, that Ale Lago, the second baseman, would lean towards second base as a man attempting to cover and perhaps the Canaries would then be able to cut down the lead runner. As a result, Lago was kind of late getting to that ball. The pitcher, Heron, had no chance, and the first baseman, Raywalt, had to stay put as well, so Marine gets himself a hit.
First pitch to Ibarra, grounded off the end of the bat to first. A spin there from the field. Throw to second for one. Throw on to first in time. And a nicely turned what goes down as a 3-6-1 double play for two very quick outs here in the third.
You talked about this last night, and then I piggybacked on it later in the ball game. Sioux Falls turned 2 double plays last night. They didn't turn a double play in the opener, but the 2 last night were noteworthy because the Canaries entered this series with the fewest double plays turned of any team in the entire American Association. And that number stands out to me because this Canaries staff is clearly a pitch-to-contact staff when you look at all the peripheral numbers. We can go into them a little bit more if this inning prolongs itself. But when you're a pitch-to-contact staff, you need good defense. And to have the fewest double plays, it doesn't quite add up.
First pitch is called a strike to Allday. They count 0-1. And you saw the Canaries last year, too. They were fundamentally not a good team.
Fielding percentage is okay. Don't have too many errors committed, but when you put a lot of pressure on your defense with a lot of batted balls, you would think you'd have more double plays turned.
The 0-1 is inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. But doesn't that also speak to sort of the serendipitous nature of the double play at its core? I mean, in no way could you really analyze and dissect what a defense has done based on the number of double plays they have turned. Here's the 1-1. That's a check swing with a pitch up and in. He did not go. 2 balls, a strike.
Sure, and it's serendipitous in the same way that the RBI is, for example, because it's contingent upon having men on base. But the point I'm trying to make is this is a Sioux Falls staff with the second fewest walks, the third fewest strikeouts, the highest batting average against, yet the fewest double plays.
2-1 is hit a mile-high foul down the right field line.
All that tells me that opponents are putting the ball in play against Sioux Falls pitching. You would think just by the sheer nature of batted balls put in play against the Canaries that there would be more double plays turned, and it just makes me wonder. I haven't watched this team all year. It just makes me wonder how poor or maybe how unlucky the defense has been behind some of these Canaries pitchers.
I think, too, about that surface in Sioux Falls Stadium, which is not a very good one. And we talked about this much earlier in the year when Cleburne was still here, and they had an astonishing number of errors. Why errors have become less and less. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a foul tip, and Allday is down on strikes to end the third inning. Why there have been fewer and fewer errors over the course of baseball, and a lot of that had to do with the playing surface, and the Sioux Falls Stadium playing surface just isn't very good. It's probably tough to really turn some good double plays back home. Dogs have 2 hits in the third, but they score nothing and leave 1 on at third base. We head to the fourth. It's 1-1 here in Lincoln. Let's head back to Elijah in the studio, who's standing by with a scoreboard update. Elijah?
Don't stop.
1 our score in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Ricky Knapp back to work. 4, 5, and 6. Dual A Lago, Mike Hart, Clint Coulter. A run 2 hits for the Birds, a run 4 hits for the Dogs. And for the play-by-play of innings 4, 5, and 6, here is Matt.
Appreciate it, Michael. As you mentioned, Lago leads off the 4th inning for Sioux Falls. It's early, but to this point, we've got another pitcher's duel on our hands. 3rd straight night between these two offensively charged teams. Guess it's something about playing at Haymarket Park that suppresses the scoring a bit. We'll see if that changes as the game goes along. Ricky Knapp sets and fires the first pitch to Lago. A breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. Lago, Hart, Coulter, the beef of the Sioux Falls order. Here in the top half of the 4th. 0-1 pitch, grounded towards short to his lefty Barra. Gloves it and throws to first calmly for the first out. So here's Mike Hart now. Hart 0 for 1. Popped out in foul ground to Josh Mazzola, the Lincoln third baseman, his last time up. Hart been held at bay from a batting average standpoint in this series, just 1 for 5, but he has reached via 4 walks in the series so far. Lincoln pitching walked 6 last night. First pitch breaking ball from Knapp hits the knees. And it's 0-1. 1 walk so far tonight from Ricky Knapp. This is a Lincoln staff that, much like the Sioux Falls staff, has been mostly pitch to contact this year. 0-1, a breaking ball that skips in, and the count evens to Hart at a ball and a strike. The Saltdogs enter tonight with the 2nd fewest strikeouts, check that, 3rd fewest strikeouts in the American Association, and the 5th fewest walks. Here's the 1-1, ground ball right side to his right, Regis. Gloves, check that, more gloves, and tosses underhand to Knapp covering for the 2nd out. Saltdogs also give up a lot of contact and a lot of base hits. Dogs pitching entered tonight with a .271, I should say, batting average against, and that's the 4th highest in the entire league. So a lot of similarities between these two pitch to contact staffs. And one of the most egregious similarities, they're both in the bottom 3 in the American Association in staff earned run average. Here's Clint Coulter, 2 away, base is clear. Coulter 1 for 1, hit a long home run his last time up, and he takes the first pitch strike on the outer half. It's 0-1. 91 on that fastball from Ricky Knapp. The 0-1. Breaking ball fouled back by Coulter, and it's 0-2. Clint Coulter starting behind the dish tonight for Sioux Falls for the first time since 2014. Coulter was drafted as a catcher in 2012 by the Milwaukee Brewers, one of 3 first-round catchers taken in that 2012 draft overall. I mentioned it last night. Mitch Haniger was the first one off the board in 2012. He went 3rd overall. Coulter went 27th overall, as he swings and loops the 0-2 into shallow left field for a base hit. The ball was just out of the reach of Christian Ibarra, and Coulter's now 2 for 2. Anyway, Coulter remained a catcher and hit pretty well in his first season and a half in the Brewers organization. The problem for Clint Coulter, if you jog your memory as a baseball fan, is that it was at the same time that Jonathan Lucroy was bursting onto the scene for Milwaukee in a way that very few Milwaukee hitters at any position had in the history of the Brewers organization. It looked like Lucroy was going to be the catcher of the 10 to 15 year future for Milwaukee. First pitch to Ebert, the batter now, a strike on the outer half. And as a result, the Brewers decided that Clint Coulter's easiest path to the big leagues, and remember, he's a first-round pick, so he's a guy they wanted to rush a little bit, was by playing the outfield. 0-1, misses outside to Ebert, and it's a ball and a strike now. As soon as Clint Coulter moved to the outfield, and I don't know if this is merely coincidental or if there is some causation here, he pretty much stopped hitting. He remained in the Brewers organization all the way through last offseason. The 1-1 misses low and away to Ebert, and it's 2-1. But he had stopped being a catcher and also had stopped hitting at the same time, which ultimately caused him and the Brewers to have a mutual parting of ways. 2-1 to Ebert. Breaking ball, fisted to straightaway right. Cutting over to his right is Regis, and he picks it out of the air. Side retired. Pretty quick inning there from Ricky Knapp. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Middle of the 4th. All tied at 1 on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
The difference between possible and impossible? It's a person who believes they can, surrounded and supported by others, by us, who believe it too. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. When you're ready to buy a house, a mortgage from U.S. Bank could help make it possible. And a dedicated financial partner will be with you every step of the way. See about pre-qualifying today. U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
Cody Regis leads off the bottom of the 4th. 1-1 our score. Lincoln and Sioux Falls all knotted up. And in the series finale here from Haymarket Park, Matt Rigby, Michael Dixon with you on ESPN Lincoln. Extreme overshift on against Cody Regis, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball low and in for ball 1. Regis, Smith, Mazzola, heart of the Lincoln order, due up against Tyler Herron. 1-0 inside to Regis, and it's 2-0. Just 1/2 inning after Ricky Knapp, tonight's Lincoln starter, was able to get through the Sioux Falls heart of the order. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Canaries. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Saltdogs. There's a 2-0 from Herron on the inside corner, and it's 2-1. The Canaries, if you look at Tyler Herron's baseball reference page, are the 22nd team for which he's worn a uniform in his professional baseball career. 2-1, grounded toward the right side. To his right, the first baseman, Raywalt. Gloves and flips to Herron, covering for the first out. And that'll bring Kurt Smith to the plate. Now, 3 of those teams are Winter League teams, either foreign or domestic. So I guess you can kind of throw those out. But even without those 3, you have 19 professional teams for which Tyler Herron has suited up. And it goes a long way toward telling the tale in what has been a very, very, very circuitous road for Tyler Herron in his professional career. Herron, a former first-round pick. In fact, both ends of the Sioux Falls battery are former first-round picks tonight, something you don't see very often in this league. First pitch to Kurt Smith outside for ball 1. Tyler Herron was taken in the first round. It was the supplemental portion of the first round in the 2005 draft by the St. Louis Cardinals. 1-0, big rip and a miss by Smith, and it's a ball and a strike now. Herron was one of the most decorated high school pitchers in the entire country coming out of that 2005 draft. Here's the 1-1. Good breaking ball, just a shade off the inside corner as Herron doesn't get the call, and Kurt jumps into the driver's seat. 2-1. Herron, a Melbourne, Florida native, pitched to a sub-half-a-run ERA in his senior year of high school. Big swing and a miss by Kurt Smith, and it's 2-2 now. And as soon as he got to rookie ball, things started to pretty much fall apart for Tyler. And he's gone on record and admitted that all the way back in 2005, he figured it was just going to be easy. 2-2, fouled off the netting by Kurt Smith. And we'll do it again. And I guess if you've mowed down every batter you've faced over the past 4 years, it's tough to all of a sudden go against guys who can hit you. But Herron was never really able to make the adjustment, and the Cardinals actually finally gave up on Tyler Herron after quite a few years of patience. 2-2, a breaking ball that misses inside, and now the count to Curt Smith is full. Cardinals were reluctant to give up on Herron. That makes sense. He's a former first-round pick, and he was one of the 3 first-round picks in the very first draft by then Cardinals GM Jeff Luhnow. Here's the payoff pitch to Curt Smith. That's low and outside for ball 4. So Curt draws a walk, his 24th free pass that he's worked out this year. And now there's a 1-out base runner for Josh Mazzola. Now Jeff Luhnow is noteworthy because he's the architect of the Astros World Series team a couple years ago after he left St. Louis and went to Houston. But what happened and what caused the reluctance for the Cardinals to ultimately give up on Tyler Herron is that Jeff Luhnow saw Herron as one of the few failures in what was a revamped Cardinals development system. First pitch to Mazzola misses inside for ball 1. Cardinals have been absolutely famous over the last couple decades for drafting and developing talent, perhaps better than any other team in the major leagues. And the Cardinals kind of pointed to Herron as a test case to say, we don't want this to happen ever again. Mazzola swings at the 1-0, knocks it right back through the box into center field, base hit. Kurt's thinking 3, round second. The throw to third, not in time. Now Mazzola tries for second. The tag there, in time, and he's out. Josh Mazzola got a little bit frisky after he saw the throw from the center fielder Hart come to third base. Got to give credit, though, to Kevin Taylor, the Sioux Falls third baseman, for alertly throwing on to Lago at second. And Mazzola was out pretty easily there at second base for the second out of the frame. So it'll go down as a single for Mazzola, and then he's out ultimately 8-5-4, trying to stretch it into a double. And now 2 away for Tyler Moore with a man at third. Anyway, just kind of thought that was interesting doing some reading before the game that Tyler Herron's a big reason why the Cardinals kind of became what they became over their 2-decade run. As an example of what not to do in their system. First pitch to Tyler Moore, misses upstairs for ball 1. Now there's a lot that goes into that what not to do. Tyler Herron was ultimately released by the Cardinals for what Jeff Luhnow characterized as some off-field issues. Cardinals never really went into it. Tyler Herron's never really gone into detail on what those off-field issues were, but Jeff Luhnow kind of called Herron a character flag when they released him. 1-0. Big swing and a miss by Tyler Moore, and it's 1-1. Not to paint a totally negative picture here on Herron. He ends up in the American Association ultimately after bouncing around with some other organizations in Major League Baseball. And as is often the case, independent baseball's kind of humbled Tyler Herron, and he's been able to turn in a pretty decent career in a number of indie leagues, including the AA. 1-1, misses inside for ball 2. Herron was a Fargo-Moorhead Red Hawk for a few years. He was a Lincoln Saltdog. Sioux Falls Canary, obviously, a Winnipeg Goldeye. He's one of the few players in the history of this league to have his contract purchased not once but twice out of this league by an affiliated organization. 2-1, big swing and a miss by Moore, and it's 2-2. And he's a guy that just kind of keeps plodding away. Year after year, team after team, still believes in himself, still thinks he can get back to the big leagues, and here he is in Sioux Falls, trying to turn in a 3rd consecutive good start down the stretch for the Canaries. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Moore, fouled off the mask of the catcher Coulter, and we'll do it again.
He's also probably one of those names that so many scouts and GMs know based on everything you just said. Therefore, any time his name surfaces, whether it's in the Atlantic League, the Independent, or the American Association, it doesn't matter. People are following what Tyler Herron is doing, maybe for no other reason than just sheer curiosity.
2-2, lifted to straightaway right by Moore with some carry, backing up Ebert onto the track, and that's as far as he has to go to make the catch. and retire the side. So warning track power there from Tyler Moore, and that brings an end to the bottom of the 4th. Dogs kind of run themselves out of that inning a bit. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, no errors, and a man left. We move to the 5th, still 1-1 on a Sunday night in Lincoln on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
Valentino's family recipes have been passed down for generations. It's a classic Italian tradition we put into every dish we make. We use only the freshest ingredients for a more authentic taste. Whatever you choose, you can be sure it's made with off-the-vine freshness for a healthier, more wholesome flavor. Valentino's, classic Italian tradition.
Go to Valentinos.com to find a location nearest you. Order online for easy pickup or fast delivery.
Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations. It's a tradition we bake into every pizza we make with our savory, slow-cooked original sauce, baked fresh daily crust, mounds of all-natural mozzarella, and the freshest toppings. Valentino's Pizza, classic Italian tradition.
Go to Valentinos.com to find a location nearest you. Order online for easy pickup or fast delivery.
Between the Canaries and the Saltdogs. Ricky Knapp back to the mound. Matt Rigby back to the mic alongside voice of the Saltdogs, Michael Dixon, to my left in the Budweiser broadcast booth. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday night, wherever you may be tuning in from. Dogs looking to take the brooms out and sweep the Canaries out of town in Sioux Falls' only trip to Lincoln this summer. It's been a good start to a 9-game homestand for the Saltdogs. Couple of well-pitched victories over the last 2 nights. A shutout on Friday night, in fact, 3-0. And then the bullpen did some good work last night to preserve Jake Hohensy's victory, a 5-4 win. Got Chicago in town tomorrow for 3, and then St. Paul right after that for 3 more. 6 with the North Division, with a chance to play a bit of a spoiler role. Burt Reynolds leads off, bunts up the third baseline. Knapp can't glove it off the mound, and Reynolds beats out a bunt single for his first hit in 21 at-bats. You know what they say, sometimes just laying one down and getting a little bit of batted ball luck can do a world of good to help you break out of a slump. You wonder if that's what Burt Reynolds was thinking there. And either way, it gets him a leadoff single. Here's Josh Raywalt now. Raywalt flew out to straightaway left his first time. Mazzola, the third baseman, playing in, perhaps expecting a bunt from the lefty Raywalt. He doesn't profile as a bunter. Reynolds takes off early. Knapp steps off, throws the ball into center field, and Reynolds pops up from second and will move on to third. A little bit of a sloppy play all the way around there. Ricky Knapp was alerted by his infielders that Reynolds had taken off about 5 seconds too early. Knapp wasn't even in his delivery yet. He was still getting the signs from Daniel Herrera. Not quite sure what Burt Reynolds was up to there. But then Knapp spun around and a bit too frantically threw wide of the shortstop Ibarra covering into center field, which allowed Reynolds to take the extra base. It'll go down as a stolen base and an E1. And now Raywalt swinging, taps one to first. That'll get the run home as Moore gloves and takes it to the bag for the first out. So what should have been 2 outs and nobody on now is 1 out and a run all the way home, with Raywalt picking up his 12th ribby of the year to make it 2-1 Canaries. That'll turn the lineup card over. Andrew Ely to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Singled back through the box in the 3rd inning. And the first pitch, he bunts it up the first base line, charging Marine on the bare hand, throws to first, wide of the bag, and Ely is safe. Moore backs it up quickly, and that'll hold Ely to an infield single. But the Canaries putting some pressure on this Saltdogs defense here to begin the 5th inning. Have 2 bunt singles already in the frame, with Mitch Glasser now coming to the plate. Yvonne Marine gets a little bit of a taste of his own medicine there, I suppose. Marine laid down a bunt that looked almost identical to that one toward the second baseman for Sioux Falls, Olay Lago, back in the 3rd inning. Marine was able to beat it out for an infield hit. This one comes toward Marine at second base. And although he did everything right to get a bare hand on that baseball, it was a bit too late, and Ely beats it out. So here's Glasser, a patient hitter. And he takes a first pitch breaking ball on the inner half for strike 1. Glasser 2 for 9 in this series, but he's walked 3 times. A guy that's walked 34 times on the season to just 29 strikeouts. Ely's got good speed, 3 for 3 swiping bags this year. Good lead at first as well. Not running, and the 0-1's lifted to straightaway right. Lazy fly ball for Regis, who makes the catch for the second out. So 2 away, and here's Kevin Taylor now. Taylor is 0 for 1 on the night. Walked his first time up and also grounded out.
The third baseman, number 9, Kevin Taylor.
Here's the first pitch to Taylor. That's a fastball on the inside corner at 91. Michael mentioned a potentially hot gun earlier in the broadcast, and it's one of the quicker pitches we've seen from Ricky Knapp all year. Good lead at first still for Ely. And the 0-1 pitch lifted down the right field line into the corner. Long run over for Schultz up against the bullpen. He can't make the catch as that one hops into the pen. And the count moves to 0-2. We saw Nick Schultz make a very similar play on the last homestand after a long run into about the same spot up against that bullpen fence. This one he can't make, though, and it goes as a long strike instead.
Just about to say, how many more ridiculous Nick Schultz catches in foul territory does the budget allow this year? Because I feel like we've already hit the limit.
He's playing shaded toward the gap in straightaway left, making that run even longer toward that bullpen fence. It's amazing he even got as close as he did. Throw over to check on Ely, and he dives back in. You got Ricky Knapp on the mound, Kevin Taylor at the plate, and Andrew Ely at first base. These 3 were all teammates last year in Binghamton. All 3 were in the Mets system. All 3 were Rumble Ponies, and that means all 3 got to know Timmy Tebow, whom we talked about last night. Good lead still for Ely at first. Another throw over, and he gets back in just in time. Boy, he looks like with every passing pitch he wants to take off. You don't often see a guy go on an 0-2 count, though, out of deference to the guy at the plate. So we'll see if Ely increases the lead at all here. It's about the same. Knapp set at the belt. Ely takes off. The 0-2 pitch. Reach for, poke toward third. To his left, Mazzola. Gloves, settles, and throws to first in time. Nice play from Josh Mazzola to get Taylor and retire the side. The Canaries add a run, though, on the strength of just 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. Halfway home, it's been a good one so far. Canaries with a slim 2-1 lead on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
Coors Banquet has always been brewed with pure Rocky Mountain water, and always will be. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere.
Boulevard wheat is unfiltered, and it's my job to make sure it stays that way.
Boy! Hell no! No! Stop!
Filtration can come from anywhere. Beer filters, coffee filters, Snapchat filters, air filters, any kind of filter, out. Hey, those filters for the beer?
They're for coffee.
Get that out of here.
Okay.
A lot of people don't get what I do here, but they sure can taste it.
Leading off for the Saltdogs, the left fielder, number 13, Nick Schultz.
Nick Schultz leads off the bottom of the fifth. Bottom third of the order due up for the Saltdogs. Looking to claw back. It's now 2-1 Sioux Falls, thanks to a run in the top half of the inning. First pitch to Schultz, low and outside for ball one. Breaking ball at 85 there from Tyler Herron. Schultz is 0 for 1, a backward K. And he takes the 1-0 pitch outside as well. Same pitch, a little bit higher, but still outside from Herron, who's now going to take a walk to the back of the mound and gather himself before this 2-0. Schultz, Herrera, Marine, a righty, a switch hitter, and then another righty. As the 2-0's grounded through the box to his left, the shortstop Ely throws across in time for out number 1. Slick little play there from Andrew Ely, who's a really good defender. That's his calling card as a baseball player. He's a kid that's hit really well throughout his professional career. Talked about him last night, coming from the Cubs organization as a 32nd round pick in 2014, then a Rule 5 selection by the Mets. Guy that's hit throughout his minor league career, but was released by the Mets after last offseason with a new regime in place. Still knows how to pick it, though, and showed it there. First pitch to Herrera. He's bunting up the first base line, right to the first baseman, Raywalt, though, who picks it up and lightly taps the pillow at first for the second out.
Do we have an agreement between the two teams tonight to lay down a certain number of bunts? I mean, goodness gracious.
By my count, that's 4 now. Sioux Falls scored their run with 2 bunt singles in the top half of this 5th inning. Yvonne Marine bunted for a hit in the 3rd, and now Herrera, the first person to lay down a bunt and not reach first base, as he's the second out in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the aforementioned Marine. 1 for 1, extended his hitting streak to 8 games with that bunt single. He's now 15 for his last 39. Yvonne Marine was dead as a doorknob in the month of July, and he has resurrected his entire season so far in August. Takes a first pitch strike on the inner half. It's 0-1. Herron working quickly, fires the 0-1, reached for, slapped towards second to his left Lago, fumbles it for a moment, regathers and throws to first. Side retired. Very quick inning there for Tyler Herron. He gets the Saltdogs 1-2-3, and as we head to the 6th, it's still 2-1 Sioux Falls on ESPN Lincoln 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
Rocky Mountain water can be found right here and right here. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
If you have the need for speed, you need kinetic internet by Windstream. Built on our newly enhanced fiber-backed network, you can access all your entertainment at blazing fast speeds, up to 100 megabits per second. Surf, stream, game, download, and watch on multiple devices at the same time, uninterrupted. Plus, Kinetic is unlimited, with no data caps and no contract required. And you can try it with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Order today at windstream.com.
up against Ricky Knapp. Third straight night of a pitcher's duel between the Canaries and the Saltdogs, and that wasn't the series preview on paper between these two teams. When we came into this weekend set, after these two had met 6 times prior on the year, we had seen 85 runs combined, which is more than 14 per game, and if you slash that in half, it's an average of 7 or so apiece per game. That being said, final score on Friday was 3-0 Lincoln. Last night, 5-4 Lincoln, and so far after 5 innings tonight, 2-1 Sioux Falls. Goes to show you never can tell, as Chuck Berry would say. Here's Alay Lago leading off. First pitch swinging, hammers it foul onto the concourse down the right field line, and it's 0-1. Saw a couple of kind of prolonged games the last 2 nights. The TOG, or time of game, doesn't necessarily suggest that. It was 2 hours 46 on Friday, a 1 inside, and it's a ball and a strike. 2 hours 47 last night, so eerily similar. But it seemed like we had a ton of foul balls, a lot of long counts, a lot of throws over to bases to check in on runners. That was especially the case last night. 1-1, fouled off the netting by Lago, and it's 1-2. And tonight, at least on conjecture for me, it's been the exact opposite. Lots of swinging early in counts, lots of putting the ball in play, and that's oftentimes the case when it's a getaway day, which is the case for Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls eager to get home. 1-2 to Lago, swing and a miss. Real good breaking ball there from Knapp, had Lago out in front. And he's the second strikeout victim for Ricky Knapp now. Lago 0 for 3, and here comes Mike Hart. This is the end of a 12-game road trip for Sioux Falls. This is the second separate 2-week road trip for the Canaries this year. They started the season on the road for 2 weeks, and now they're on the road for 2 weeks again. I asked Carter Woodell, the Sioux Falls broadcaster, before the series started on Friday if the schedule at least lightens up for the Canaries down the stretch run, and he said, well, not really. Here's Mike Hart bunting toward Ricky Knapp. It's out of his glove. He picks it up and throws to Moore at first in time to get the speedy Hart. So the 5th attempted bunt for a hit in this ball game alone, we're only in the top of the 6th inning, almost resulted in a beautiful snow cone catch from Ricky Knapp. Then it almost resulted in a disastrous play that would have allowed Hart to beat it out after Knapp dropped the ball. He recovers, though, picks it up, and gets it on to Moore in time for what is ultimately a 1-3 bunt ground out for out number 2. Anyway, Carter Woodell told me Sioux Falls the rest of the way. Home series here, road series there, home series here, road series there. It's a very twisty-turvy rest of the schedule for Sioux Falls. First pitch to Clint Coulter, down and away for ball 1. Coulter is 2 for 2 in this game, including a solo home run in the top of the 2nd. 1-0, low and away to Coulter for ball 2. Talked extensively in this series about Clint Coulter and his journey to Sioux Falls. Mentioned that he was kind of blocked in the Brewers organization by Jonathan Lucroy. Suffered a whole slew of injuries early in his career, too, that kind of set him back. 2-0, a big swing and a miss by Clint, and it's 2-1 now. Saw something real interesting that I want to fit in before the Canaries leave town, and it's a good segue into the Chicago series coming up tomorrow, Michael. Mentioned a couple times in the broadcast that Coulter was the 27th overall pick in the first round by the Brewers in 2012. 2-1 low and outside to Clinton. It's 3-1 now. That's a draft in which Doug Melvin, the then Brewers GM, had 3 first-round picks at his disposal. One of them was 28th, and you know who he took 28th? Victor Roach, who's now a Chicago Dog. And we'll see Victor tomorrow. He's having a pretty good season, hitting at the bottom of the Chicago lineup. 3-1 to Coulter on the outside corner, and it's full.
We talked about that, too, with that draft and how it aged. And one draft pick of that draft is departing, and here comes another.
It did not age particularly well, I will admit, especially that first round. Not a ton of headliners. 3-2 pitch, reach for, poke down the right field side, fading fast, and that's down for a hit near the line. Over to cut it off, Regis. Coulter rounds first, and he'll cruise into second with a 2-out double. So Clint Coulter putting together quite a show this evening. He's now just a triple shy of the cycle. And he picks up the 6th Sioux Falls hit to bring Jordan Ebert to the plate. Carlos Correa was the #1 overall pick in that draft. Other than that, it's kind of slim pickings. And I read that Clint Coulter was actually one of 5 players invited to the MLB Network studios for the live airing of the draft. Of the 5, only Correa has done anything of note at all at the big league level. Here's Jordan Ebert with 2 away. First pitch up and away for ball 1. Ebert batting with a man in scoring position. He's been real good in those situations this year. 1-0, big swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Jordan Ebert, 26 for 72. That's a .361 average with men in scoring position this summer for Sioux Falls. This is a Canaries team with an average hovering around 300 with men in scoring position. 1-1, low and outside to Ebert, and it's 2-1. Jordan Ebert, former Auburn Tiger. He was a Winnipeg Goldeye last year, as was Tyler Herron actually for a time. Ebert traded in the offseason for James Harris, who's a current Goldeye. 2-1, turned on, ripped down the left field line. That's a foul ball up onto the concourse. Had home run distance, but Ebert was a bit out in front. The count evens up at 2-2. Ebert was traded to the Washington Wild Things and didn't play a single game for the Wild Things before he was then traded back to the American Association to Sioux Falls. Knapp comes set from the belt, 2-2. That's a breaking ball in the dirt. Good block by Herrera. And the count's full. Ebert, a kid that hit over 300 with Auburn in his senior season in the SEC. Oftentimes that'll get you at least drafted, but he went undrafted before being signed by the Royals. Payoff pitch, good breaking ball, froze him up. Nice little curve from Ricky Knapp at 74. Gets Jordan Ebert looking to retire the side. So Ricky Knapp works his way around a 2-out double. That was all there was in that inning for the Canaries. And after 5.5, it's still 2-1 Birds on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
And it don't stop.
We move to the bottom of the 6th. Saltdogs will start their 3rd time through the order against Tyler Herron, who's working on a nice little outing. Herron allowed a run in the bottom of the 1st and has put up 4 zeros since, as he faces Ibarra, Alday, and Regis, 1, 2, and 3 in the home half of the 6th inning. It's 2-1 Sioux Falls. Matt Rigby, Michael Dixon with you from the Budweiser broadcast booth at Haymarket Park. Ibarra turns on the first pitch and ropes it foul down the left field line to run the count to 0-1. Christian now 0 for 2 in this game and 0 for his last 5 in the series. He had his 14-game hitting streak snapped last night with an 0 for 3. And he's grounded into a double play already in this game. It was a bit of a killer back in the Saltdogs' 3rd inning, in which they had 2 straight singles to start the frame. 0-1 misses low to Ibarra, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. 1-1, reach for, lifted into straightaway right center. That'll split the outfielders and roll up the alley. Cutting it off is the right fielder Ebert. Ibarra with a wide turn. Now he puts the brakes on and goes back to first base with a long leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th. Real nice job by the right fielder Ebert to get over to that ball. Good job by Ibarra, too, to go as far as Ray Walt, the first baseman, would let him before he put the brakes on and thought the better of it. And now a leadoff base runner for Forrest Allday. We mentioned it's Homer's birthday, 19th big one for Homer, the Lincoln mascot. There's definitely a charm that comes with working in minor league baseball. I must have experienced 7 or 8 mascot birthdays last year. Allday squares to bunt, pushes it up the first base line, and that's going to roll for a hit. Nobody was there to field it for Sioux Falls. Some miscommunication on the right side of the Canaries infield, and make it 6 attempted bunt hits in this game. Now 4 of them successfully, as Allday backs up the Ibarra single with one of his own to give the Saltdogs 2 on with nobody out for Cody Regis. Tyler Herron, the pitcher for Sioux Falls on that play, kind of stayed put. Josh Raywalt didn't move. He stayed at the first base bag, expecting Herron to field the baseball. Alay Lago, the Sioux Falls second baseman, went behind Raywalt at first, expecting Raywalt to field it, and ultimately everybody had their expectations too high because nobody picked it up. Cody Regis first pitch swinging, skies it a mile high, no infield fly rule invoked. Now it is real late, and the shortstop Ely makes the catch for the first out. That was a bizarre play. I think home plate umpire Jeff Head forgot there because he put his finger in the air pretty much in the exact second that Andrew Ely gloved the ball, making the infield fly rule kind of moot. And when it's all said and done, it goes down as a P6 to bring Kurt Smith up. So we'll see if Kurt can cash in an RBI chance. He drove in a run with a sac fly in the first, also walked in the 4th, so no official at-bats yet in this game for Kurt. And he takes a first pitch fastball a bit up and away for ball 1. Homer's got some of his friends here tonight. Three other mascots have come out to the party on a Sunday evening. 1-0, swing and a miss by Smith, and it's 1-1. Josh the Water Safety Otter is here. Scotty the Squirrel and the Lincoln Southeast High School Knight made it out to the ballpark. Long set before the 1-1 here. Herron has the sign and wheels around towards second. Speaking of Southeast Knights, and speaking of Tyler Herron, we mentioned Herron went 47th overall, first round pick in that 2005 draft. The number 2 pick in the 05 draft, 1-1, waved at and missed by Smith, and it's 1-2. A former Lincoln Southeast Knight, former Nebraska Husker, former Kansas City Royal, actually current Kansas City Royal, Alex Gordon. How about that for some symmetry?
Should they have sent him in 2014?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't. The 2014-15 World Series all blur to me. 1-2 to Smith. Reach for, lifted to straightaway right. A little bit of carry, but it's in the ballpark. Catch made by Ebert. Tagging at second base is Ibarra, and he'll move up to third with 2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th. I assume. Let me try to jog my memory here. I assume you're talking about a wild pitch that got away with Golden at third? Okay, then I don't know. You're talking about the World Series,
It was
though,
Game
right?
7 in the 9th inning. It was a 1-run game. Bumgardner was out there. Gordon hit the ball to deep left. Don't remember exactly how it happened, but got away from the outfielder. Gordon got to third, and the question was, should they have sent him around third and taken their chances that he scored the game-tying run in that 9th inning, because it's the bottom of the 9th inning in Game 7 of the World Series. I don't think I have a real opinion one way or the other, but it's, for one reason or another, sort of developed into the defining play of Gordon's career.
First pitch to Mazzola, fouled off behind the netting, and it's 0-1. This doesn't happen to me often. You know that for a fact.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that you don't remember that.
I don't remember this play at all. And I know I was watching that game, every pitch of it for a fact, but I do not remember that whatsoever.
I brought it up specifically because I felt like you would know exactly what I was talking about.
It's kind of odd to see the Royals where they're at now, huh? Struggling to even win 60 or 70 games. They've fallen on hard times, but
what's so weird is that it happened so quickly, but it was also expected, if that made sense. Like, it wasn't this concept where guys who were good just stopped being good.
It was kind of,
they just didn't have much.
It was kind of the path, though, too, right? I mean, it's what you deal with when you're a small market club. They developed and drafted a ton of homegrown talent that all came up at the same time. Sal Perez, Mike Moustakas, Eric Hosmer. Sal Perez has been hurt. Moustakas is a Brewer now. Hosmer's a Padre. They couldn't pay those guys when their contracts were up, and they went elsewhere. 0-1, low and away, and it's a ball and a strike. But I think the part that you're hitting on is interesting, too. A lot of analytics people said that those two Royals teams really weren't very good, but somehow made it to where they were and were a couple plays away from winning back-to-back World Series, which is pretty remarkable. They had almost no starting pitching either. 1-1. Down and outside to Mazzola, and it's 2-1, especially in 2015. I mean, they didn't really have a guy that could go past 5 innings. Edinson Volquez was their number one starter.
You lived through it as a diehard Met fan. It was the back end of that bullpen that was so
unhittable,
ridiculous.
2-1. Mazzola pops it a mile high back towards us in foul territory, and then it'll get out of play as the count goes to 2-2. They had Ryan Madsen. They had Hochevar. They had Kelvin Herrera, who was a fireballer at 100+, and Wade Davis was a closer on that team. In fact, that 2015 team had a great bullpen without Greg Holland, who missed the whole season due to Tommy John. Runner goes at first. Mazzola swings at the 2-2 and casually fouls it down the left field line, just out of the reach of Kevin Taylor. And so we'll do it again. Anyway, I did some looking, and Homer is a Y2K baby, born in the year 2000. You wonder if his parents were nervous.
How did we get from Homer to the Royals and back in 1/2 inning? Trying to figure out where we went from and where we're coming from.
I'm like the Miles Davis of this, man. I can weave it all. I really hope I can finish this note, too, because I did way too much digging to find it. 2 strikes, 2 outs, men on the corners, bottom 6. The pitch, ground ball through the box to his left. Elliott gets under his glove and into center field. 1 run will score. Alday moves up to third. We've got a tie ball game, 2-2 in the home half of the 6th inning. We'll wait on the scoring, but more importantly, Josh Mazzola stays alive with 2 strikes, puts the bat on the baseball, and Andrew Ely, who's been very reliable defensively all series and all season long, got half a glove on it before it skipped under his mitt and into center to give us a brand new ball game.
It's going to go down as an error on the shortstop, Ely. He had a long way to go over to his left, a play that he should make 10 times out of 10, and it just went underneath his glove and out into left center field. And in some ballparks, that might be a hit, but here at Haymarket Park, I think it's correctly an error. Regardless, we're tied at 2 here in the 6th.
Men still on the corners now. Tyler Moore swings away and fouls it off. So run the count to 0-1. Extreme overshift on for Moore, the lefty hitter. Tyler's 0 for 2 so far tonight. So no RBI for Mazzola. It's an E6 all the way, allowing Ibarra to score and allowing Forrest Alday to take the extra base. 0-1, fouled out of play again by Moore, and it's 0-2. The run will be unearned for Heron, but as I mentioned, we've got a brand new ball game. Anyway, did some digging. Other mascots born in the year 2000, Baxter, the Bobcat, which is the Arizona Diamondbacks mascot, born in 2000. TC Bear, that's not Terry Collins Bear, that's Twin Cities Bear, the Twinkies mascot, born in 2000. And Junction Jack, you might be familiar with Junction Jack. 0-2 misses inside, and it's 1-2. Junction Jack has been defunct since 2012, but he had a nice little 12-year run in Minute Maid Ballpark. You familiar?
Yeah,
okay.
The Coyote, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I love about all of that? All three of those have nothing to do with the franchises that they represented.
1-2, big swing and a miss by Moore. Heron got him with a breaking ball to retire the side. Saltdogs get even, though. A run on 2 hits, an error, and 2 men left. We move to the 7th, all knotted up at 2 apiece. On ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM, 1480 AM.
The difference between possible and impossible? It's a person who believes they can, surrounded and supported by others, by us, who believe it too. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. When you're ready to buy a house, a mortgage from U.S. Bank could help make it possible. And a dedicated financial partner will be with you every step of the way. See about pre-qualifying today. U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
One error for Lincoln. What's been a pretty well-played, well-pitched, and competitive series trudges on. 3 innings to go, at least barring extras tonight. And here for the rest of them, voice of the Saltdogs, Mr. Michael Dixon.
Well, thank you, Matt. Ricky Knapp is out for what has become his longest start in just about a month. Went 6 1/3 on July 12th at Fargo. He's got 6 under his belt here tonight. First pitch to Burt Reynolds leading off the 7th. Tap third base side. Knapp off the mound. Barehand field. Throw to first in time. And they got him by a half step. So Burt Reynolds, who doesn't love the call, he was taking off his helmet, walking off to the first base dugout, letting Nick Webb hear it. But don't really think there's much of an argument, to be honest with you. It was a close play, but indeed it looked like they got him in time. And after Burt got himself aboard on a bunt in the 5th, he is out by half a step on a swinging bunt here in the 7th. And here comes Josh Raywalt. First pitch to Raywalt, big swing and a foul tip. That's held on to by Herrera.
Love that term, swinging bunt, one of my favorites in baseball. Glad you went there.
It's not a disrespectful term either. It's just what happened. Here's the 0-1. That's low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-2 here in the 7th inning. The lights are on, but they are not playing a factor and probably won't play a factor or the entirety of the game unless we go to extras. The 1-1 strike over the outside corner. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. We knew that Ricky Knapp was much more comfortable here than he had been on the road, but this start is right there like we expected it to be. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. A 4th strikeout for Ricky. Ray Walt down on strikes for the 29th time this year. First time in the series. Made him look silly with a breaking ball and 2 very quick outs here in the 7th. 2-2 our score, and here comes Andrew Ely to the plate, who's 2 for 3 with, you guessed it, a bunt and a regular single.
I don't want to stick on this point for too long, but Homer only celebrates a birthday once every season, right? And he made the comment about none of those major league broadcasters.
The mascot's first pitch swinging straightaway center. Probably hold on to this thought for after the half inning. And
sorry.
Thanks a bunch, Andrew. That's a very quick top of the 7th. All-Day runs it down in left center for what goes down as a 6-pitch 7th inning. We stretch here at Haymarket Park, all square at 2. Let's go back to Elijah in the studio. Elijah?
Time to get up, get out of your seats.
Valentino's family recipes have been passed.
While you sing, try and catch a t-shirt too. Here we go. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Oh, it's root, root, root for the Saltdogs. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Great job, fans. Along with the 7th.
Available now, the Saltdogs app is your one-stop destination for everything Lincoln Saltdogs. View the season schedule, keep up with team news and the league standings, and purchase tickets right on the app. When you're at the game, press Fan Central to participate in trivia and challenges to earn reward points and share your pictures of the game in the fan stream. Download the Saltdogs app in Google Play or the App Store today.
Back for the bottom of the 7th inning. Thanks, Elijah. 2-2 our score. Nick Schultz will lead things off. Tyler Herron back to work. First pitch. We're going to line drive straight away. Center down for a hit. So Nick Schultz now has hits in consecutive games. Had 2 last night. 1 here to lead off the 7th. He's the go-ahead run in a 2-2 game. And here comes Daniel Herrera. We are celebrating Homer's 19th birthday here today. And Matt was talking about something pertaining to that in the top of the 7th, and I'll ask him to continue.
Well, you mentioned that none of the 3 major league mascots who were born on the same day as Homer had anything to do with their particular cities or franchises. I'll throw a little bit of a wrench into one of those.
Herrera shows a bunt, and it's hit on the hands, at least hits him on the hands, and he's going to head on down to first base. Schultz with good speed is the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning. It's second. Herrera was squaring to bunt, and the pitch just ran up and in and got him indeed right on the hand. He's shaking that one off. Jay Cohency coaching at first base, consoling Daniel, who's standing just off the bag in foul territory, but I think Herrera will continue, and a base hit can give the Dogs a lead.
Okay, so Baxter the Bobcat, which is the Arizona Diamondbacks mascot, actually makes a little bit of sense, I promise. And here's how. Baxter is officially named D. Baxter the Bobcat, so there's D-backs.
First pitch to Marine, squares to bunt, bunts it off to the third base side. The first baseman picks it up, bare hand pick, throw to first, hit Marine. It trickles away from the first baseman, and Schultz will score from third.
Herrera up to third, and Marine in some serious pain off to the first base side in foul territory. But for the time being, I think the Dogs are going to take a 3-2 lead, and we also have a Sioux Falls casualty. It might be Alay Lago who is covering at second.
A lot going on that play there. As you mentioned, Josh Raywalt goes all the way down toward home plate from his first base post, and that's where I think things started to go awry. Raywalt had to spin and throw in one motion. The ball hit Marine, but more importantly, Marine and Reynolds collided there. Not Reynolds, Marine and Lago, collided there. And I think Marine's got a problem with his leg. Lago has a problem with his hand. Remember, Lago was out in the last series between these two teams because of a dislocated finger. You wonder if that came back to bug him as they're looking at his hand along first base. And Yvonne Marine has just gotten up to his feet, halfway up the right field line in foul ground. Just a scary play all the way there, with Lago's wrist exposed and Marine's back exposed, and a throw coming toward both of them on a first close play at first base.
Well, we got another look at it on the stream, and indeed it came up basically right on top of where the number 7 is on his back, and you're right. The injury wasn't from the ball coming anywhere near him. It was the misstep that he took at first base as a result of the collision. The official ruling will be a bunt single. Herrera moves up to second on the bunt. Schultz to third on the bunt. Obviously, that's where Marine is. He doesn't advance because he ran through first and was hurt. And Nick Schultz will score on what goes down as an error on the first baseman, Josh Raywalt. Daniel Herrera is at third via that same error, and the Dogs now have 2 runs in the last 2 innings, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and they've erased a 1-run deficit and turned it into a 1-run lead. And you were right, a lot going on that play. I mean, goodness gracious.
The last element to it, this one's maybe a little more comical, we might set a record for bunt singles in this game.
It's incredible. First pitch is strike number 1 to Ibarra.
All right, I'm going to get out of the way here now before I totally step all over this inning. The Bobcat Park comes from Bank One Ballpark, which is what Chase Field used to be called. Bank One Ballpark, B-O-B, Bob.
The 0-1 hitting the air to right should be deep enough to score Herrera. Ebert is underneath it. He catches. Herrera tags. Throw will come home, and it is not in time. A sac fly, 4-2. So 2 big runs for the Dogs here in the 7th inning, and now they're 6 outs away from a series sweep. Herrera scores. Ibarra has his 2nd RBI of the series and 31st on the year. Marine will stay put at first. It's only the first out here in the 7th inning, and here comes Forrest Alday to the plate. Alday has 2 hits, now 4 for 10 in the series. A bunt single, a double, a run scored. Righty on lefty, first pitch, and he takes strike number 1. And this is a tough luck 6th and 7th inning, too, for Heron. As it stands right now, one of these 2 runs is unearned. The other can become earned based on the way this 7th inning unfolds. 4-2 here in the 7th. 4 runs, 9 hits, an error for the Dogs. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Canaries. And the pitch. Swinging a fly ball that's hit a mile high and foul down the right field line. Count is 0-2. Bank One became Chase, for those who don't remember. I remember because I was came from a Bank One family. It's a big deal when Bank One became Chase. And the closest bank in my suburban Dallas upbringing became a Chase from Bank One, the 0-2. And that spoiled foul by Alday, up and out of play, left-hand side. And we do it again at 0-2. You ever been to Chase Field?
Multiple times, yes. Nothing like watching baseball indoors.
You don't like it?
No, not for me.
Marine at first, held on there by Raywalt. And the pitch. So we're going to pop up foul.
Also, D. Baxter, the Bobcat, was created by current minor league infielder Brantley Bell, who's property of the Cincinnati Reds and who is 24 years old, son of Josh Bell, who had D-backs ties at the time. Brantley at the time, let me do my math here, was 5 years old and came up with all that.
0-2 pitch. That is a fly ball hit foul down the left field line. And we'll do it again at 0-2. Seems like that kind of thing that when you go out to eat with the family and the kids get the crayons and the color menu and they get to the point where they've colored everything, so they want to start creating things on their own on the blank places. And 5 minutes later, he had the Bobcat. 0-2. Curveball is low, taken by Allday. 1-2 the count.
I guess D. Baxter's father's only 5 years older than him. How about that?
A little alarming when you put it that way.
It's true, right?
It's true. One and two the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Allday, a tough guy to strike out, has now 2 of them here tonight. And here comes Cody Regis to the plate with a man on first, 2 outs, but 2 runs in the 7th. 4-2, the Saltdogs lead it. There is action in the bullpen. I believe it is Reese Gregory. We'll see if Ricky Knapp is indeed done for the day. He's at 95 pitches and 66 for strikes, but has given up only the 2 runs over 7 innings and has been really good. Throw back to first base, and Marine back safely.
It is Reese Gregory, and it leads me to wonder, does Reese have another 9-out save in him tonight, or if it's just a shorter stint? 6-out save.
First pitch, swing and a miss by Regis. Count 0-1. You know, we talked about the save drought that the Dogs went through. It began on June the 22nd and ended on July the 29th. The 0-1, that's inside. Coulter has it nick off his glove and a few steps towards the first base on deck circle, and Marine down to second with a pass ball. So the count 1-1 to Regis, but the Dogs have had a few saves since then. Chiron Martis had his on July the 29th to break the drought. That was that game in Sioux Falls in which the Dogs rallied with Kurt Smith's 7th inning grand slam to ultimately win. The 1-1 popped straight over our heads and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But Gregory, that first save he had, that was not your traditional 9th inning save. The second one he had in game 1 of this series was not a traditional 9th inning save. And Martis had one last night that was 2 innings. So really, the Dogs have had one traditional 9th inning save like you would think of them. 1-2 is down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes since June the 22nd when Boyle had his first. Two and 2 with 2 outs and Marine at second base. The overshift on and 3 on the right side. This is the last of the season series. The Dogs have won each of the last 6 after falling in the first 2. And they are 6 outs away from a 7th consecutive win here at home. 2-2. That's a breaking ball in the dirt. Karam's off of Coulter up the first base line, but Marine will stay put, and the count full here to Regis. Kurt Smith would be next. Regis, the 6th Salt Dog to the plate here in the 7th inning. Dogs have not lost at home in the month of August. That also includes a pair of shutout victories. Payoff pitch. Swinging a ground ball rolled right into the shift. Second baseman in Lago from a few steps out in shallow right has it. Easy throw to first, and that'll end the bottom of the 7th. But the Dogs strike for 2 runs. There were 2 hits, 1 crucial error. and 1 left on base. We head to the 8th, 4-2 Dogs on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM and 1480 AM.
Valentino's family recipes have been passed down for generations. It's a classic Italian tradition we put into every dish we make. We use only the freshest ingredients for a more authentic taste. Whatever you choose, you can be sure it's made with off-the-vine freshness for a healthier, more wholesome flavor. Valentino's, classic Italian tradition.
Go to Valentinos.com to find a location nearest you. Order online for easy pickup or fast delivery.
Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations. It's a tradition we bake into every pizza we make with our savory, slow-cooked original sauce, baked fresh daily crust, mounds of all-natural mozzarella, and the freshest toppings. Valentino's Pizza, classic Italian tradition.
Go to Valentinos.com to find a location nearest you. Order online for easy pickup or fast delivery.
Saltdogs, number 32, Reese Gregory.
Back for the 8th inning, and it is indeed the end of the line for Ricky Knapp, who was fantastic. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. For Ricky, it is the 4th quality start in his 14th start. And he makes way for Reese Gregory, who has been fantastic in his own right. 1-0, a 162 ERA, 16 2/3 innings. Just 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. 4-2, the Saltdogs lead at first pitch to Mitch Glasser, is strike number 1 over the inside corner. Mitch in the game 0-for-3. Now the 0-1, that flutters in there over the outside corner at 75. Count is 0-2. 4 runs, 9 hits, an error for the Dogs. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Birds. The 0-2, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reese Gregory from St. Cloud, Minnesota. A midseason pickup, a free agent who began the year with the FM Redhawks. 1-2, swing and a miss. And Reese Gregory on 4 pitches strikes out Mitch Glasser for the first out in the 8th. 1 out, bases clear. Kevin Taylor will step to the plate. He is 0-for-2 with a walk. And Ricky Knapp in line for what could be his first win in a while. First pitch to Taylor, rocketed foul into the netting. Up to the left-hand side, the count is 0-1. Knapp's last win came back on June 21st, 0-1. That is weakly chopped over to short, picked on the backhand by Ibarra, throw to first in time. And if you're wondering what Kevin Taylor thought about that plate appearance, he didn't drop the bat. He flung it about halfway out to the pitcher's mound for the second out here in this 8th inning. 2 very quick outs. This is Reese Gregory, as we've come to know him, extremely quick. He has these guys on their toes, and it's a nice change of pace when Gregory's coming in low to mid-80s after Knapp hit 90 and 91 a couple of times. First pitch to Lago, and he takes all the way strike 1 on the outside corner. League's leading hitter might not be there after the end of this game. He's 0-for-3. Here's the 0-1. That's a ground ball snagged by Gregory on the front of the mound. He'll stop in his tracks, throw to first, and a blazing fast 1-2-3-8 to the bottom half of the inning for 2 Dogs on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM and 1480 AM.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
Coors Banquet has always been brewed with pure Rocky Mountain water, and always will be. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere.
Boulevard wheat is unfiltered, and it's my job to make sure it stays that way.
Boy! Hell no! No! Stop!
Filtration can come from anywhere. Beer filters, coffee filters, Snapchat filters, air filters, any kind of filter, out. Hey, those filters for the beer?
They're for coffee.
Get that out of here. Okay. A lot of people don't get what I do here, but they sure can taste it.
Back for the bottom of the 8th, 4-2. The Saltdogs lead it. And a new pitcher for the Canaries. It's the right-hander Sam Bragg, who has struggled this year, 2-5 with a 6.90 ERA in 28 appearances, 5 of those starts. He's got 7 saves, 44 1/3 innings, 58 hits allowed, 34 runs, 9 walks, 41 strikeouts. He's on in relief for Tyler Herron, who went 7 innings and gave up 4 runs. Also 9 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and he hit a batter. 4-5-6-2, Smith, Mazzola, Moore. And the first pitch, big swing and a miss from Kurt. Count 0-1. Kurt in the game is 0 for 1. He's driven in a run with a sac fly. He's also walked a time. 4-2 here in the 8th inning. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. And Bragg quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. These two know each other well. Sam Bragg was the victim when Kurt Smith hit Lincoln's only grand slam of the year. Chest tie set from the righty, 0-2 pitch. Swing and a pop-up, straight out of play. And up behind us, we'll do it again at 0-2. Turned a 2-run deficit into a 2-run lead in the 7th inning back on July the 29th. That was the final inning of regulation in a 7-inning game, and the Dogs held on to win that and sweep the series. They've won 6 straight against the Birds. Chest tie set and the 0-2. Swinging a fly ball, that's muscled into right field. Late break for Jordan Ebert, galloping over near the line, falls over in foul territory and can't get there. And Kurt will live to see another pitch. Ebert took forever to get over there, and as a result, it's just a 2-strike foul ball, and Kurt's still alive.
I mean, the ball was hit plenty high enough for Ebert to get there in time. It's just like he sat stationary for the first 5 seconds after that ball left the bat. I have no idea how Ebert wasn't able to make that play. It was a mile-high pop-up. It went over the top of Memorial Stadium. And he still couldn't get there. He wasn't even close.
No. 0-2 pitch. Swinging a tapper foul third base side. And we'll do it again here at 0-2. For those curious, Tyler Herron, 4 runs allowed, only 2 earned, 0-2. Swinging a fly ball to right center field, and it'll stay in the ballpark. Mike Card is over into the gap, reaches up and makes the play for out number 1. So an F8 from Kurt, and here comes Josh Mazzola to the plate. Mazzola is 1 for 3. Grounded out back in the 2nd inning, singled in the 4th, and reached on an error in the 6th. That was a crucial play in this game. Had Andrew Ely fielded it cleanly, the Canaries would have been out of the inning. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. First pitch, Mazzola takes high for ball 1. And instead, Ely let it get on by him into the left center field. That scored a run, kept the inning alive. Dogs tied it with a run in the 6th. Scored twice in the 7th. 1-0, popped up, foul territory. And it's the first base side. Josh Raywalt, the first baseman, about halfway between the seats and the line. Reaches up to make the play, and Mazzola is the second out in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So here's Tyler Moore, who's got a 6-game hitting streak potentially on the line. No guarantee he gets to hit again. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. It'll be Mike Hart, Clint Coulter, and Jordan Ebert, 5, 6, and 7 for the Canaries in the top half of the 9th inning against, we'll see who. Pretty good chance it's Reese Gregory. Righty on lefty, and the first pitch. Strike one over the outside corner. Nick Schultz would be next. 4 runs, 9 hits, an error for the Dogs. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Birds. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Game 9 of the 9-game season series. 0-1. That's a strike over the outside corner. Fastball at 91 there from Bragg. Bragg 6'1", 205 pounds out of Marietta, Georgia. Chest tie set from the righty, 0-2 pitch. That's a foul tip. Got a good piece of Clint Coulter's mask and fell to the third base side. And the count remains 0-2. Fastball 90-94, curveball, cutter, change, and it lists an Eephus pitch, but I'm not entirely sure how often opposing hitters have seen the so-called Eephus pitch. Maybe it's upcoming, who knows? Here's the 0-2. Swinging a liner foul. And we'll do it again at 0-2. Sam Bragg has plenty of minor league championships under his belt. 2-time Texas League champion, AA Midland. And also won an Arizona Fall League title with the Mesa Solar Sox in 2016. Chest tie set. And now the 0-2. Swing and a pop-up. This is the third base side. It's the catcher Coulter in foul territory, who's the only one that can make that play with the overshift on, and he does so to end a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th to the 9th. 4-2 on ESPN Lincoln, 101.5 FM and 1480 AM.
Rocky Mountain water can be found right here and right here. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
If you have the need for speed, you need kinetic internet by Windstream. Built on our newly enhanced fiber-backed network, you can access all your entertainment at blazing fast speeds, up to 100 megabits per second. Surf, stream, game, download, and watch on multiple devices at the same time, uninterrupted. Plus, Kinetic is unlimited, with no data caps and no contract required. And you can try it with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Order today at windstream.com.
Back here for the 9th inning, 4-2. The Dogs lead it. 3 outs away from a sweep of the Birds, a 7th straight win at Haymarket Park. And Reese Gregory is indeed out to try and complete what would be a 2-inning save. He had a 3-inning save 2 nights ago. He went 1-2-3 with 8 pitches in the 8th. First pitch to Mike Hart, popped up, foul territory, third base side, long run over for Mazzola, out of his reach. Strike number 1. Mike Hart 0 for 3, a foul out and 2 ground outs. Hart, Coulter, and Ebert. Coulter a triple away from the cycle. 4-2 in the 9th inning. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Dogs. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Birds. It is righty on lefty. Ricky Knapp, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts. The 0-1, that's line the other way foul. And the count is 0-2. Hart batting .382 against lefties this year, .273 against righties. He had the best average for Canary last year, hit .311. Oh, 0-2, and the pitch. Down and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hart 1 for 4 with 4 walks, a run scored, 3 strikeouts in the series. 4-game on-base streak might be on the line. 1-2, that's a rocketed foul, a grounder first base side. And we'll do it again here at a ball, 2 strikes. 83 on the fastball. Gregory, not a guy who will light up the radar gun by any means. Very similar to John Brownell, but John does throw a little bit harder. Righty on lefty, Hart with the number 20 on his back. Wide open stance, been heavily over at the knees from the left side. 1-2, swinging a foul tip, just got a piece. And we'll do it again here at a ball, 2 strikes.
You know what's great about Reese Gregory's breaking ball is that he throws it in the zone. It's not a breaking ball that guys can just lay off if they're taking a while to get used to Gregory. I know Gregory's a multiple innings guy, so sometimes he'll face batters 2 times, but when he's facing them the first time, he can't spin on that pitch.
1-2, missed outside at 72.
You know what I mean? Sometimes when a guy comes in with a primary breaking ball like Gregory has, you can just wait and see if he throws it for a strike while you get a look at it.
2-2, swing and a foul tip. Just got a piece of that curveball at 73. We'll do it again here for an 8th pitch to lead off the 9th inning.
But that pitch was a prime example. That's in the zone, and Mike Hart's got to swing at it. And he's clearly uncomfortable with that breaking ball. He does not have a beat on it.
2-2. Swinging a pop-up. That's in behind the mound. Long run for Ibarra in at short and right in front of the base. He makes the play for out number 1. Got him out in front of a fastball at 83, and the contact indicative of how comfortable you mentioned these Canaries hitters have appeared when facing Gregory. 1 out here in the 9th, 2 outs away, and here's Clint Coulter, who again is a triple shy of the cycle. First pitch, he takes strike number 1 at 84. Hart finishes, or may finish 0 for 4. And now the 0-1 drops a curveball in there at 73. It's 0-2. Reese Gregory has just been phenomenal since the midseason pickup. Wind the 0-2. Swinging a pop-up foul right-hand side. Do it again here at no balls, 2 strikes. He's a rubber arm who can throw just about any day for any length of time. 3 innings for the save again 2 nights ago. 2 outs away from a 2-inning save here tonight. Ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch. Low and away. Coulter, a moonshot solo home run in the 2nd. Singled in the 4th. He doubled in the 6th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. In fact, that double was the last Canaries base runner. Now this pitch, popped up, foul out of play. And the count remains 2-2. Gregory having to work much harder in this 9th inning than he did the 8th. He went 1-2-3 in the 8th with 8 pitches. Took him 8 pitches to retire Hart, and this will be number 7. Into the wind, 2-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive into left center field. That is down for a base hit, 4 for 4 game for Clint Coulter, and the tying run will step to the plate. Left the pitch up, and Coulter made no mistake. And Jordan Niebert, with 1 swing of the bat, can tie the game. He has only 2 home runs this year, however. Niebert is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Canaries had the tying run on base in last night's game before a game-ending double play. Got the tying run at the plate here tonight. First pitch, strike number 1 over the inside corner. One out with a man at first, 0-1 the count. Middle infield would love to end this with 2. Mazzola just off the line at third. The 0-1, that's lined into left field. Hangs up just enough for Nick Schultz to make the play for out number 2. So the Dogs 1 out away. It was hit on the screws, but Ebert is 0 for 4. And here comes Burt Reynolds to the plate. He's 1 home run away from 10. And perhaps there's no better Canary you could want in this situation than Burt Reynolds. The only other guy that you could possibly hope for is the one on first base. Lago would be a good option as well. Burt has a bunt single in the game. He scored a run. First pitch, swings and misses at 84. Count 0-1. Leads the league with 108 strikeouts. 2 outs and the tying run at the plate. 4-2 here in the 9th inning. Belt tie set by Reese, and the pitch just missed outside at 84. And the count evens 1-1. Chicago in town for 3 beginning tomorrow. St. Paul in town for 3 after that. 1-1. Swing and a pop-up, foul territory out of play. And the Dogs 1 strike away here in the 9th inning. 4-2. This winning streak at Haymarket Park began on August 1st, a 3-0 shutout win against Sioux City. They proceeded to sweep the Kansas City T-Bones last weekend. And they're a strike away from a sweep of the Birds here this weekend. Gregory has a new ball from the home plate umpire, Jeff Head. He steps on to the mound. Belt tie set, 1-2. Swinging a line drive over Ibarra's glove into left center field, a base hit. Coulter a wide turnaround second. He's heading for third. He'll get there. Burt Reynolds now with 2 hits in the game. Keeps the Canaries alive. Tying run aboard at first. And here comes Josh Raywalt. The 2-strike hitting from Burt Reynolds. Softly lines it into left center. And Raywalt has 2 homers this year.
Of note now, Michael, spacious outfields with deep gaps here at Haymarket Park. The tying run is at first base, and it's represented by a ton of speed in Burt Reynolds if a ball rolls up the alley.
First pitch is outside, ball 1. Raywalt 0 for 3, a fly-out, RBI, ground-out, strikeout.
Also, Reynolds could think about swiping a bag here, which would be a very risky play.
Now the 1-0 pitch. That is called a strike over the outside corner.
Gutsy play might be a better term.
Now a throw back to first, and Burt is back safely with a lunge. Almost like he was a long jumper. Wasn't expecting a quick throw from Gregory. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Moore holds Burt on at first base. Middle infield swung to the right side. 1-1 pitch. Drops in for a strike over the outside corner at 73 on the curveball, and the Dogs are once again 1 strike away. Raywalt against righties this year is .224. 4 extra base hits. 1 double, 2 triples, and a homer. 1-2 pitch. That is outside, trying to go back to the well, and count evens 2-2. 2 on with 2 out, 2-2 the count. A 2-run game here in the 9th inning. And tying run at first base, that's Burt Reynolds. Clint Coulter at third. Here is the 2-2. Runner goes. Pitch. There's a check swing. It is high. No throw down to second. And now at 3-2, a base hit can tie this game.
So there is that stolen base from Reynolds. Surprised he went 2-2 and not earlier in the count, but like you mentioned, 1 knock, and we're probably tied.
Gregory's allowed only 2 runs this year. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Reese Gregory works around trouble in the 9th. He's got his 3rd save, and the Dogs have a 3rd win in this series. They call that a sweep, 7 in a row at Haymarket Park. They score once in the 6th to tie it, twice in the 7th to take the lead for good. and they sweep the Canaries with a 4-2 win here at Haymarket Park on Sunday. We'll be back with the final totals right after this.